Hello, I'm Cameron Steele. Welcome to the Brickyard, where today the world will be introduced to a top secret organization known as the Hot Wheels Test Facility. Also, we'll get to meet their anonymous but world-class drivers, Team Hot Wheels. This organization has been operating in secret for the last 43 years, and today, as part of the 100th anniversary of the Indy 500, they're going to perform a world record test in public for the first time ever. Jay Akerson is the facility media liaison and communications manager. Jay, why are you going public today?
Well, there have been stories and rumors of the test facility for 43 years, and we felt it was time to set the record straight. So today is a historic day for motorsports. The facility wanted to celebrate and be a part of it.
So what are we going to see?
Hot Wheels for real. Firstly, we'll show you an almost catastrophic test of a world record jump that we're going to perform later today. Secondly, a crazy 10,000-foot descent from our facility in Brazil. We then attempt to prove an Indy car can drive upside down. And lastly, a world record jump on this track you see right behind us.
Unbelievable. So when do we start?
Well, first, let's take a look at the history of the facility where this all started.
An underground network of car specialists has been secretly pushing the envelope of auto engineering for 43 years. Their goal, explore the future of vehicular mobility regardless of risk. The 1960s gave visionary innovators permission to reach for the unreachable. In the heavily regulated world of car design, there was little room for new ideas. A looming oil crisis and new safety restrictions sent innovation into the mudflats. With this climate as a backdrop, a group of mavericks saw there was another way. In 1967, those same mavericks flew from Detroit to an abandoned factory in the California desert to build and test prototypes of the world's most advanced vehicles.
What's your name and what's your relationship to the testing facility?
I'm Charlie Penn. I was the head engineer at the facility from when it opened in 1968 until mid-80s, 1984 to be exact. Oh man, it was an amazing place to be. You had the best drivers, the best vehicles, and the best engineers in the world all in one place. You know, you go push some limits.
One of our guys went home, saw his kid playing with a car on a stool. Naturally, working at this facility, you'd think, let's test this for real. I'm Steve Garrett. I was the structural engineer of the Steele project, 1997-2003. In a project like this, doing the things that we do, pushing the envelope, being on the edge, everybody knows that something could happen. Everybody knows there's an element of danger.
The test facility was all experimental. You'd hold back nothing, you know, and everything was accepted. The only way to really find out, you know, where the total limits are is to get almost crazy. Do things that you think are almost technically impossible. That's what we needed, and that's what was developed. And that was the beginning of a whole new era.
We were working off the grid. We did whatever we dreamed of. That kind of free thinking led to a very freewheeling environment, to say the least, and out of that came cars and engines and tests that, looking back, they're quite unbelievable.
I'm a stuntman, I'm a professional motorsports driver, motorcycle tester, automobile test driver. I've probably tested everything that there is to test. One of my Pikes Peak races, I was at the top of the mountain and somebody came up and asked me about working in the facility and being a Team Hot Wheels driver and tester. In the moment of just finishing a race, I had a lot of adrenaline and I wasn't 100% sure whether this was true or not, but I went back down to the bottom of the hill, threw my boots in my bag, and there was a business card in there with the phone number on it, and that's when I realized that this is a real deal. Ultimately, I was recruited for the green team, which was about speed. I mean, that was our thing, was to go test, you know, new engines, different kinds of fuel mixtures, jet propulsion, anything that you could think of that was about making a car or a vehicle go really fast. Then you got the red team. I mean, they might not have been the best drivers, but they were the biggest risk takers. I mean, they were fearless. Blue is precision. These guys were like robots. I mean, they were perfect. You know, they did the real hairy, knife edge kind of stuff. There was no margin for error for those guys. It was 1 millimeter made all the difference. The yellow guys, they were a wild bunch. To watch those guys do what they do in the air, it's like ballet.
There's a lot that goes into being part of the Hot Wheels team. There's some decisions that you make that no racer would normally dive into. To jump the trucks and do the off-roading on the Yellow team, it's actually really calculated and technical. And when it goes wrong huge. So you have to be the most analytical, I think, on the Yellow team.
The reward that you derive from this, the satisfaction, totally outweighs the risk, because the risk is calculated. I mean, all the things that we even do at a test facility, yes, we don't know what's going to happen on the other side, but you know something? You feel confident there's a lot of engineering that's gone into it. You know, we're crazy, but not that crazy. You know, we're smart crazy.
The worst crash I ever had, I can't tell you a lot about because I don't remember a lot of it, which obviously is probably why it's my worst crash. But we were testing out some new track materials, and ultimately I ended up just getting the corner wrong. Came off a little too fast, spanked the connector, piece of the track, orange track obviously, came off, ended up hitting me in the head, knocking me out for about 4 days. Ended up actually, my good luck charm, been carrying this around for a while. That was a piece of the connector bolt that ended up in my back.
I used to patch them up with steel pins, metal plates. I even pulled orange track out of drivers. I mean, I got the x-rays to prove it. Colleagues, they wouldn't believe what I was doing out here, and then they started asking questions I really couldn't answer. I had to be careful about what you said.
As secret as the facility was, some work was drawing the attention of the outside world.
I was exploring the distribution of uranium through different markets throughout the world. The trail eventually led me to the Hot Wheels test facility. They were looking at different fuel sources, and one of those was nuclear energy. I believe the engines were essentially mini reactors. I mean, I'm not sure how far they got because it's very difficult to get too much information out of the facility.
Sooner or later, it had to come out, and I think the time is now. I'm proud of all of that because, again, so much had been going on for so many years, and now all of a sudden, at least, you know, the world now is going to know.
Now that the Hot Wheels test facility is working out in the open, what does the future hold? The most exciting years of the Hot Wheels test facility may well be the ones we're living in right now.
Everybody thinks they're on the cutting edge. When you come to this facility, this is the cutting edge.
Coming up, testing for the world record jump almost leads to disaster.
We're working off the grid. We did whatever we dreamed of.
We're crazy, but not that crazy. We're smart crazy.
Everybody thinks they're on the cutting edge. When you come to this facility, this is the cutting edge.
Here at INDY, preparations for the world record jump attempt are the culmination of months of testing and planning. What you are about to see shows why these preparations are necessary.
Jay, there was almost a disaster testing for the world record jump. What happened?
Well, let's have a look. Follow me. Let me introduce you to Don Spitz. He's the chief engineer at one of our U.S. test facilities.
Don, Cameron.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, Don, tell us about what we're looking at here.
We're reviewing a jump that we did recently at our windlass facility. Least amount of air turbulence in the country there.
Live clip schematic. Check.
So we're designing a vehicle that will be as comfortable in the air as it is on the ground.
What we're looking at is 4,000 tons of steel. The car itself is a one-of-a-kind, custom-built vehicle designed to fly. But a sudden gust of wind can prove fatal. By the time he hits a jump, he must be at 109 miles an hour and accelerating. Take your foot off the gas, and the car will pitch forward and spear, grill first, into the ramp. And that is exactly what you are about to see. Here we go. Driver was okay, the facility uses these films to analyze what went wrong. He leaves the top well, hitting 64 miles per hour at the base. About 120 feet from the launch ramp, his speed is actually too high. Now, Yellow Driver slows, but his speed drops too far. He tries to compensate, but at this point it's too late. He's traveling too fast. The truck begins to over-rotate. The vehicle's momentum forces the rear end up. Now, like a missile, it heads for the ramp. Without modified suspension, the Yellow Driver would have rolled, and the consequences would have been catastrophic. Risk, however, is nothing new.
From horizontal flight to vertical wall tracks. At the Hot Wheels test facility in Brazil, they're preparing a cliff descent from 10,000 feet.
I'm going to hand it off to Anna Ballerin. Anna's our Chief Eco-Base Engineer and Red Team Leader. Anna.
Boa tarde, Jay. I think the best way to explain what we're doing here is to show you some footage of the area.
Anna, is that the Eco-Base we can see there?
Yes, we've created a temporary base here that has the smallest environmental footprint of any of our facilities.
Who's behind the wheel?
Here in Brazil, we use members of the Red Team. These are drivers who are selected based on their fearless attitude to high-risk scenarios.
The test vehicle is an original Hot Wheels design called the Bone Shaker. It has an impressive 546 horsepower at the wheels, over 500 foot-pounds of torque, and runs entirely off Brazilian ethanol.
Our current problem is how to quickly move a vehicle from a high altitude to a low one. Our solution has been to develop and deploy a super lightweight carbon composite hanging roadway that can be custom designed for any location from simple GPS data. Excuse me, Jay. It's time for me to go. We're about to start.
Yep, Bone Shaker.
The cliff descent was a success. In addition, the facility was also able to test the trapdoor, thereby increasing the speed from above to below. Coming up, for the first time ever, the attempt to drive an Indy car upside down. And later, live at Indy, the test facility goes for a world record. From a death-defying 10,000-foot descent in Brazil and a near catastrophe during testing, we're about to push the limits again with the first ever experiment in driving upside down.
The Hot Wheels test facilities have always been leaders in the development of technology. At the UK facility, lead engineer Rupert Collins is testing a new Hot Wheels Indy car. 800 horsepower, a 0.24 drag coefficient, and spoiler wings to increase downforce and keep it pressed to the track. The facility is about to test this car and see if it can drive upside down. We have the UK facility standing by.
UK facility live link online.
Well said, Jay. The theory has always been that if you drove a car fast enough, you could drive it upside down. You see, the same force that lifts an aeroplane upwards is reversed here. The spoilers press the car against the road, even if, in theory, that road happens to be upside down. We're testing this theory by running our Hot Wheels INDY car out of this hangar, flipping it upside down into a suspended straightaway for 4.3 seconds at 306 miles per hour, then flipping it back just before reaching the other hangar.
Hey, how do you control this kind of speed?
Electromagnetic acceleration to get us going, and the electromagnetic braking to slow us down.
Imagine hitting those ramps at 300 miles an hour could put some serious stress on the drivers.
G-load during the transitions is extremely heavy. Look here. Heart, brain, lungs, rib cage, all under enormous pressure. We've developed, in collaboration with IZOD, a biometric suit, without which the driver's insides would fill with blood and his brain would turn to mush. Okay, Jay, I must sign off. We're just moments away.
Biometrics on.
Reading vitals, check.
Telemetry good.
SIM car, all systems go. Driver helmet cam recording, check.
Driver is secured.
Check.
Launch magnets up. Commence countdown. 3, 2, 1.
Unconscious. Got him.
Manual override in effect. Emergency personnel to catch magnet. Repeat. Emergency personnel to catch magnet. Prep for incoming driver with G-force injury.
Catch magnets up.
Blood pressure weak, pulse erratic. Vital signs stabilizing.
Right now the blood is returning to his brain. He should regain consciousness.
Still no sign of movement in the cockpit. He's okay. Blue driver is okay. Driver is secured. Congratulations, Blue driver. I'm not sure how much you remember, but you just made history.
It's not surprising Blue driver passed out from G-forces. Upon review, he was traveling 306 miles per hour and experienced 12 Gs during the inversion. Overall, an amazingly successful test to prove that an Indy car can drive upside down.
Coming up, live at Indianapolis, Team Hot Wheels and the Hot Wheels test facility go for the world record. From a death-defying 10,000-foot descent to the first ever experiment in driving upside down, and now a world record attempt in front of a live audience.
Well, to break the world record today, Yellow Driver has to jump over 301 feet. Now, to put that into perspective, it's like dropping off a 10-story building and then launching the length of a football field through both sets of goalposts. And we'll be using the same vehicle, but as we've seen, a lot can go wrong. For a start, the weather conditions have to be perfect. It will all come down to the same Yellow Driver once again.
Jay, what's changed since the jump that went wrong?
Well, we spent a lot of time in the wind tunnel getting the aerodynamics just right. We've created flight cavities in the body to direct the airflow. Another big consideration we had was the vehicle's blind spots. When the driver gets on top of that platform, he can no longer see anything below him. So we've laser cut visibility panels in the hood for takeoff and landing.
Well, the door is 100 feet tall. What's the driver thinking when he's up there?
Well, yeah, he's got a lot of time to think. It takes about 10 minutes to winch that car up the ramp backwards, and he'll be studying it the whole time. Because once the driver's on top of that platform, he can no longer see the track. He has to roll into that ramp blind. Now, he knows he's got to be at 66 miles per hour at the bottom of the ramp and 109 miles per hour when he takes off. Now, once he's in the air, he can control the trajectory of the car using his brakes and accelerator. But as we've seen in testing, a lot can go wrong.
Unbelievable, and we're getting close to jump time now. The tension right here is mounting and insane.
Definitely. Let's go check it out.
And here we go at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
on. Crushed the world record. Way to go. Celebrate, buddy. Celebrate. Yeah!
Yellow Driver on top of the landing, of course. We're waiting to find out if we have a record. Jesse Olsen coming up here to talk to Yellow Driver. We'll find out what Jesse, big smile on your face, Jesse.
Absolutely, man. We just crushed the world record, 332 feet. I can't believe it. Great job, Yellow Driver.
332 feet, Indianapolis. How about a round of applause for Yellow Driver?
Thank you on behalf of the Hot Wheels test facility for being a part of history today. The identity of the Yellow Driver will be revealed on the Hot Wheels Facebook page, and I can tell you it is a big name in motorsports, along with an interview and behind the scenes footage. Check it out. That's it from the Indy 500. We'll see you next time.